In the anime series Chainsaw Man, based on the original manga, a young man named Denji steps into an underworld of hunting devils and supernatural evil with a team of fellow hunters. The first season, produced by Mappa Studios in Japan, is a high level achievement in action and dramatic animation. In this video, we'll look at how the first episode creates cinematic shots to visualize the story. Per usual, there will be spoilers to the story of Chainsaw Man, so I recommend checking out the series before proceeding further. As a general story overview, the first 12 episodes of the series reveal the origin story of Denji and his pet devil Pochita, as Denji discovers a new life hunting devils under the mysterious Makama. Denji is assigned to the stoic Aki while being paired with a wild fiend Power. The team falls in and out of various misadventures as more of the truth behind their operation is unveiled. So when looking at how to make cinematic shots, one place to start is to analyze the composition and figure out the horizon line, as well as what elements are in the foreground, midground, and background. Lens choices can also be part of the equation. In cinematic shot number 1, we see Denji walking across a grassy landscape from screen right to screen left. The foreground of tall grass is blurred to create a sense of depth. The background mountain landscape is also blurred. Denji in the midground is clear, so the blurred foreground and background help to isolate our focus on Denji. This shot is likely using a long lens, which compresses the space between the visual planes. The camera is also low to the ground, so we see some of the sky plane, as indicated by the grid at the top of the frame. In cinematic shot number 2, Denji holds Pochita as he prepares to take down a devil. The camera is low to the ground, and there's a slight 3-point perspective, with the camera tilted upward. The devil in the midground and the mountain background are blurred, creating spatial depth, so this helps to isolate our focus on Denji. There's also another foreground element on screen left that is blurred out. The lens is likely a wider lens, since Denji's foot is distorted, appearing larger in the foreground. In cinematic shot number 3, Denji and Pochita rest in a shack. The camera is placed a little higher above them, tilted down toward them, creating a slight 3-point perspective. There are boxes in the foreground that are blurred to create spatial depth. Lighting-wise, the outdoor lighting pouring through the window falls on Denji and Pochita, creating a slight backlight. The shot is also a slightly wider lens, capturing the width of the room and also the 3-point perspective. In cinematic shot number 4, Denji holds Pochita as he faces off against the Yakuza boss. The camera is tilted to the side at a Dutch angle, so the horizon line is also at an angle. The camera is slightly above the head of the boss in the foreground, who's blurred. This tilted perspective creates a dynamic feeling that sets up the incoming action sequences. Denji is the focus of the shot, so he's clearly in focus. The scene may be slightly wider than the typical 50mm lens as we see more of the surrounding space. In cinematic shot number 5, the camera is close to the ground, tilted up, and the horizon line is below the frame. Denji's foot is larger in proportion in the foreground, so we're using a wider lens. In the midground and background, we see the crowd of zombies and the larger zombie devil slightly out of focus. The camera tracks with Denji, moving deeper into spatial depth toward these antagonists. And the camera is slightly tilted at a Dutch angle, so the horizon line is also tilted. In cinematic shot number 6, the camera continues to track with Denji as he races toward camera, fighting off the devils. He's partially in focus in the midground, and there is a blurred foreground element on the screen left that is likely one of the antagonists. The camera is tilted in a Dutch angle, so the horizon line also reflects this. Denji's head is slightly larger in proportion toward camera, so this may indicate a wider lens being used. So overall, these technical descriptions of each shot helps break down the elements of what makes them cinematic. The language of film as shown in composition, lens choice, and camera movement are well executed in this episode to heighten the drama and action.